These are the even problems for page 16 and 17. When we look at number 2, we see minus 9, so we need to add 9 to both sides. You can put 7 equals g. I would prefer that g equals 7. It's a lot easier, especially when we get inequalities, to always have your variable on the left-hand side. Number 4, a divided by 9, so we need to multiply both sides by 9. Those cancel out. A equals negative 36. Once again, if you need to get rid of a fraction that's being multiplied, you multiply by the reciprocal. We don't divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So multiply by 9 over 4. You flip it over, 9 over 4. You can type this in your calculator, otherwise, hopefully you know that a negative times a positive is a negative. A shortcut you can do is 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 9 is 18. So W equals negative 18. Again, you should always check your answers. I'm not going to show it on all of them, but 4/9 times negative 18 does equal negative 8. So we know we did it correctly. Every time you solve an equation, you should plug your answer into the variable to make sure you did it correctly. Number 8, we're multiplying by negative 1/2, so the reciprocal would be negative 2 over 1, or you can just put negative 2. M equals positive 18. Getting into the two-step equations, most of the time you add or subtract first. We can't get rid of this 2 because we also have this 5. Again, ask yourself what's happening to the variable and how do we undo that. So it's being multiplied and then subtracted. We have to get rid of the subtraction first. So we add 5 to both sides. 2n equals 16. 2 times n, so we divide and get n equals 8. Again, if you want to check your answer, which you should, 2 times 8 minus 5 does equal 11. Number 12 is a little bit tricky. Most people see this minus sign and think we need to add 7. The problem is then you would do 7 plus 7 and get 14. We want it to go away. So you need to see this as positive 7. So to make it go away, we need to subtract 7 from both sides. You have to make sure it cancels out. That negative needs to come along with the 3y. So minus 3y, negative 3y, equals 27. 34 minus 7 is 27. This is multiplication, so to undo multiplication, we divide. Y equals negative 9. Again, to check, 7 minus 3 times negative 9 does give us 34. $14 looks a little yucky. If you would prefer to change it, just rewrite whatever's on the right-hand side on the left side and then move the left-hand side over. I'll go ahead and solve this one just in case you left it. First, we need to get rid of the plus 8, so we need to subtract 8 from both sides. 3 equals c over negative 5. You could even flip it at that point also. This is divide by negative 5, so we need to multiply by negative 5. C equals negative 15. So always for my last step, I make sure my variable is on the left, even though if I didn't do it before. One thing I want you to realize, if you try to do a fraction with a negative in the denominator, it will not work. All right? So it will give you an error. So you need to do this as division. Negative 15 divided by negative 15 divided by negative 5. And then plus 8. Then it will let you do it to get 11. Number 16, first we have to get rid of the plus 1, so we subtract 1 from both sides. Negative 1/3 m equals negative 8. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. To get rid of multiplying by negative 1/3, we multiply by negative 3 over 1. Or again, you can just put it as negative 3. If you want to put the 1, you can, but you don't need to. M would equal positive 24. So in your calculator, again, you can either use a fraction button or division. Negative 1/3 times 24 plus 1 does give us negative 7. For 18, again, it looks a little bit tricky. We need to get rid of this 9 first. It's a positive 9, so I need to subtract it. This negative goes along with the 1/2 x. To get rid of 9, I need to subtract it from both sides. So 6 equals negative 1/2 x. So then I need to multiply by negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. X would equal negative 12. Again, to check, we would do 9 minus 1/2 times negative 12, and we do get 15. So normally you would add or subtract first and then multiply or divide. These last two are the examples when you do not. So we can't get rid of this 5 because it's also being divided by negative 2. So when you have a big fraction, addition or subtraction happening on top of your fraction, you actually need to get rid of your denominator first, the division. So we need to multiply by negative 2 to make it go away, multiply by negative 2. N minus 5 equals 14. Then I need to add 5. N equals 19. When you check these, if you just type in 19 minus 5 divided by negative 2, you're going to think you're wrong. You have to put the 19 minus 5 in parentheses first, and then divide by negative 2, and you do get negative 7. Because when you evaluate this, you have to do the subtraction before the division. So you have to put that in parentheses. So for 22, we're going to multiply by 9 first, multiply by 9. I'm going to go ahead and switch it. W plus 8 equals 36. Again, you don't have to, but I just think it's a lot easier to see the variable on the left. So then I need to subtract 8. W equals 28. Again, when you check, parenthesis 28 plus 8, parenthesis divided by 9. Make sure we get 4.